So art for me deals a lot with recording my own personal journey, my own personal as well as my spiritual journey. The way in which I look at the world and the way in which I look at my own life is to see it as having two births. There's the first, which is my physical birth, and that awareness of the world, the physical awareness of the world, so that we know there's a tree and that's a cloud and those are birds. So that's the physical awareness of the world. But there's another type of awareness, and this birth is the one where art matters for me, where the art begins to surface, where creativity takes hold. And within this birth, I'm coming to a sort of conscious awareness of the world. I'm articulating my experiences of being in the world. I am also trying to find meaning in the world. So for me, art is about that articulation, and the medium that I chose, which is painting, becomes almost the medium of choice where I'm able to tell my story and to tell my narrative. But this is just not about my narrative, but it's also about me being a part of the human community, being a part of a specific cultural community. And because of that, because I belong to that community, then I feel that I have a responsibility, and my responsibility is also to tell the stories of that community as well. So my work embraces what I would call is a Caribbean aesthetic. And what I mean by the Caribbean aesthetic is that when I think of my own entry into the visual experience in terms of what that meant, my work, of course, my understanding of visual culture and visual art evolves out of the idea of carnival. So, which of course deals a lot with theatrical performance. It deals a lot with, grandeur and, the drama of the color and the mass and the music. So it's a very, very theatrical performance whenever we think of carnival. So my work centers around that idea. So, most of the images in my work, when you look at the images and there's a lot of movement, there's a lot of color, there is the energy of line and how those lines move across, the work. So they seem to come alive. And I think for me, when I think of a visual presentation, it deals with that drama, it deals with that movement, it deals with the dance, it deals with the mass. So the work is really about movement, and it's about journeying both through time, space, but it's also a sort of journey into my world and my inner world. So that's part of what that I do in my work, and what I've been working throughout for over the 2 decades is trying to make sense and to make meaning of my existence in the world. So in order to do that, of course, I had to take my own self on a journey, and however you want to talk about that journey, whether you want to talk about it in terms of a spiritual journey, whether you want to just talk about it in terms of more of a psychological journey. But nonetheless, it was an attempt to seek some understanding, and perhaps to seek clarity and to seek truth. So most of the times what I'm actually doing is that I am working from the position of what I know. So I begin of what I know. And what I know, of course, comes out of my own past, which is my own historical past. That is my personal past, but also the larger cultural historical past of of where I belong. So for me, of course, belonging to the Caribbean space, on Caribbean culture, that is also an important part of my journey. Because when we think about the Caribbean, what we're actually thinking about is that we're thinking about a place that is a very, very complex and diverse place. And that's because of our own history. We can talk about the Caribbean, and we can talk about it in terms of, for instance, in specific Trinidad and Tobago, where we talk about the Amerindian culture and the Amerindian tradition. And of course, there is colonialism that took place in the Caribbean, and that brought with it a series of events. And then, of course, there is the slave experience that, again, we understand and we know that has had a profound impact on Caribbean society and its people. So the journey is really an attempt to understand what all of these events and these experiences mean. So that my work is really dealing with all of these ideas and all of these histories and trying to bring together in a coherent way what that means for me and also the culture that I'm a part of now. So this is an exhibition that of work that I have done over the last 2 decades. And it is an opportunity for me to share with my own culture what I have been doing, the experiences that I've had working in the United States. It is my gift to my culture and to my society. It is the hope that this would bring a renewed vision to engage the imagination of the public in a very positive way, but also to create a context in which the conversation about contemporary art in the Caribbean will continue. But the show also pays homage to those that have gone before us. It is homage to the ancestors, so that through an understanding of their past and their experiences and their journeys, that our present life can have more meaning. So with this show, I hope to continue the ongoing dialogue of Caribbean art and culture, and to extend the conversation onto the global stage.